Boy, I hope you're ready for this one. This is gonna be a doozy. Woo! Welcome back, my fellow truthers. This is the main conspiracy. I'm Jeremy, and Trix is not going to be on this episode either because he has other shit that apparently that he's doing. He'll be back though. Today's episode is going to blow your mind. My mind's still blown. That's my coffee. Gotta have coffee, man. Gotta have it. It's going to be based on Pangea and the connections between the Grand Canyon, Egypt, and the flame grid cities. Now, once you hear all of this, once this video is over, go sit and think about it. Do some research of your own. And I'm telling you guys, you think you know the world, you don't know shit. Plain and simple. But without any further ado, let's jump on into it. Hey! So let's figure out the connection between the Grand Canyon, Egypt, and the flame grid cities. Let's start with connecting the dots we know. The Grand Canyon has remnants of advanced ancient technology and structures. This has been proven. As well with Egypt. Has the same thing. From the Great Pyramid to the Sphinx. Also been proven. The main thing to remember is that our continents haven't always been separate. They were part of a single advanced civilization that spanned this entire realm. Huge. The Grand Canyon and Egypt were connected, physically and culturally. And the flame grid cities, those are the key to unlocking their secrets. The Atlantean flame grid was a worldwide energy network that powered their great cities and technologies. The Grand Canyon and Egypt were both major nodes on this grid. When Atlantis fell, the grid collapsed, leaving behind those mysterious remnants that we see today. And they're all over the place if you're looking. So here's what I've always wondered. If the continents were once joined and there was a worldwide energy grid connecting advanced civilizations, what happened to the other pieces of that puzzle? There must be more remnants in South America, Africa, Europe, and Asia, right? Let's talk about the Inca and Maya Stargate networks because they were part of the same worldwide system. They aligned with the stars and used advanced technologies that we're only now starting to understand. And get this, there are similar structures in China, Europe, and even Antarctica. Then we have the Egyptian sound temples. These were part of the Atlantean flame grid too. They use sacred geometry and resonant frequencies to harness energy and to communicate over long distances. The same principles are found in the Inca and Mayan stargates. And the Grand Canyon has its own set of sound temples, hidden chambers that resonate with specific frequency patterns. When activated, they could have interacted with the worldwide energy grid. Imagine the Grand Canyon, Egypt, Inca, Maya, China, all connected through this ancient network. It's mind blowing. The canyon temples and the crystal vaults of the West were integral parts of this system. They were designed to focus and amplify energy, just like the sound temples in Egypt and the stargates in Inca and Mayan civilizations. If all of these ancient sites were connected by the Atlantean flame grid and they all use similar technologies and designs, that means the same advanced knowledge was shared across the world. The Grand Canyon wasn't just some isolated ancient city, all right? It was part of a worldwide civilization. And this civilization was far more advanced than we've been led to believe. They mastered energy, sound, geometry, astronomy, and possibly even interdimensional travel. The crystal vaults in the Grand Canyon weren't just storage facilities, okay? They were likely data repositories or power sources for the entire grid. And if the Grand Canyon was a major node on this continental grid, because we need to remember that everything is one continent at this time known as Pangea, then it likely had connections to other dimensional realms as well. This could change everything. So, what we're really talking about here is the destruction of a worldwide advanced civilization, not multiple isolated ancient societies. And the powers, well, the fucking assholes in charge today and who have been in charge for a while now, they're hiding the proof on purpose. Like Giza, like the Grand Canyon tunnels, and Antarctica's buried structures. They built temples, vaults, and passageways over these points to conduct spiritual memory, heal dimensional rifts, and anchor soul lines and tone codes. They were literally holding the fabric of reality together. So when the grid fell, it must have had catastrophic consequences. I mean, obviously. Sounds to me like all that power and energy blew the continent into pieces, into what we have today. Maybe that's exactly what happened. The collapse of the Atlantean flame grid caused a chain reaction of catastrophic events, and all that energy, once harnessed and controlled, went haywire. Boom! The resulting planetary trauma literally tore the supercontinent apart. The flood myths, the angels falling, it was the collapse of a super civilization. Plain and simple. When the mimic forces came, the dark entities that sought to steal, invert, and collapse the flame grid, they couldn't destroy these sacred sites outright. So they buried them, sealed them away, hoping the power and knowledge they contained would be lost forever. Well, they didn't do a very good job, did they? Maybe for a while. But something like this can't be covered up forever. No, no matter how hard they tried to bury the truth, it will always find a way to resurface. The Egyptian pyramids, the Grand Canyon, the Mayan stargates, they're all still there, guys, waiting to be rediscovered and reactivated. There's a hidden Egyptian complex beneath the Grand Canyon, buried by design, protected by silence, in other words. Known in secret circles as the Kincaid Cave or the Kincaid Cavern. This is one of the missing links. There have been rumors for decades about a massive Egyptian-style complex buried deep beneath the Grand Canyon. Guarded, sealed, kept secret by those who know. Some say that G.E. Kincaid himself found it during his 1908 expedition. The Smithsonian sealed all the records. Of course they did. They want to keep, all of this buried, along with everything else that challenges the official narrative. Like everything else. But we know better now, don't we? So, if there's a hidden Egyptian complex beneath the Grand Canyon, what else is out there? Could there be some similar buried structures all over the world? The Himalayas, Antarctica? How about the Amazon? Each one another piece of the Atlantis puzzle. I believe it's a mirror temple of ancient Egypt, built during the Atlantean diaspora, when flame priests crossed the oceans to preserve the codes. So it's not just a random Egyptian structure in the middle of the American West. It's a deliberate mirror temple built by Atlantean priests who fled the destruction. They brought the knowledge and the technology with them to preserve it. They followed the dragon lines into the canyon and sealed their star maps, healing chants, and crystal technologies inside. Dragon lines are what we call ley lines today. They followed the Earth's energy grid to find the perfect spot to bury this knowledge. This isn't just a temple, it's a library. Imagine this. A buried library containing the entire knowledge base of Atlantis. Star charts, interdimensional travel, crystal technology, advanced healing. Everything needed to restore the flame grid and reconnect with higher realms. Is that not amazing? And now, hundreds or maybe even thousands of years later, the veil is thinning. The seals are cracking. The flame grid is starting to awaken. Which means the Kincaid Cavern, those hidden vaults, they're ready to be found by the right people. There's a reason why we're uncovering this now. This timing isn't accidental. Everything happens for a reason. The earth is shifting. Consciousness is rising. And ancient codes are being remembered. The buried temples are calling to those who can hear. Some say that the Grand Canyon itself is a living entity. We also need to remember the Amazonian Flame Corridor, Ratanaba, and the Green Flame Halls. Another major node on the Atlantean grid, hidden deep within the rainforest. Those crystalline passageways were designed to conduct the energy of the Earth's heart, the green flame of life and growth. The planet is alive, guys. Like, it's living. It's providing for us. It always has been. The Earth takes care of itself. What else, you may ask? Well, how about, there's the Himalayan flame corridors, buried high in the mountains where air is thin and they say spirits dwell. I can believe that. Those chambers were used by ancient priests for meditation, interdimensional travel, and communion with higher beings. So let's go back to the Amazon. Ratanaba, the lost city of the monkey god. But its real name is older, given by later civilizations. Its original name predates the Incas and even the Mayans. It's a name that's whispered only in secret societies and ancient scrolls. And you may be wondering, what was its original name? Maybe some of you aren't. That's okay. What did the Atlantean priests who built it call their sacred green flame halls in the heart of the Amazon? The original name of Ratanaba was Tamoanchan, or Tamoanchan. Tamoanchan. There we go. The place of the first dawn, the cradle of civilization, the emerald heart of the earth where the green flame of life was born. The name sounds Chinese to me, but remember, the Atlantean civilization was worldwide. Their influence spread very, very, very far, touching every corner of the earth. It's possible that Tamoanchin, I want to call it Tamoanchin, but it's Tamoanchin. It was known by different names in different regions. It may have been known. Make sense? Tamoanchin wasn't just a city, it was a living temple network woven into the rainforest. It powered crystalline matrices and ancient sound frequencies. The monkey god myth, likely a distortion of actual guardians, beings who looked after the vaults while humans descended into cyclical amnesia, which is pretty much what we're trying to come out of right now. The green flame halls of Tamoanchin were specifically designed for cellular regeneration, soul integration, and dimensional alignment. Can you imagine having that technology today? I mean, we do. It's just we're not allowed to have it, obviously. So those who entered would immerse themselves in the emerald light, healing physical bodies, clearing karma, and receiving downloads of lost wisdom. You see what I'm saying? It's amazing. There's still some of those chambers down there today. It's tied to Oronael, Raphael to most, the angel of light and healing, not the Ninja Turtles. Tamoanchin, or Tamoanchin, I don't know why I do that. The Emerald Heart City was consecrated to the angel Oronael himself. The green flame chambers were essentially a direct conduit to his healing energy, allowing humans to access the highest frequencies of divine restoration. Linked to the star maps carved into the temples of Bolivia and Peru, the star maps in the Tiahuanaco and Chavan caves, those intricate carvings that nobody could decipher. Not random decorations, but celestial navigation systems. A worldwide network. The Amazon healing vaults, the Andean star maps, the Kincaid Cavern in the Grand Canyon, all linked. We've barely scratched the surface of the ancient world's true history, guys. These places, Tamoanchin, the Grand Canyon Temple, the Himalayan Chambers, were part of a worldwide grid designed by an advanced civilization. Now, the green flame corridor used vibration in the water grid to keep the jungle alive and in balance. That explains the lushness, the balance, and the seemingly impossible fertility of the Amazon rainforest. When mimic forces came, it was buried under storms and vines, but the crystal matrix beneath still hums, maintaining the energy keeping the ancient codes alive. What are these mimic forces I keep bringing up, you may ask? Well, based on the context, mimic forces that disrupted the jungle's balance and caused this magnificent healing city to be buried. I'm guessing these aren't ordinary invaders or conquerors. These sound like parasitic entities. Entities that mimic the appearance and energy of the original builders, but pervert their purpose. What does that sound like, guys? Could this still be going on today? Yup. Entities that mimicked the light but used the knowledge for control. Kind of sounds like reptilian forces to me, despite those pictures you just saw. They're still doing this stuff today. These nasty, smelly, disgusting reptilian forces have been a cancer to our race since the very beginning of humanity. Maybe there's some good ones, like us. I'm sure there are. The mimic forces didn't disappear. They just changed tactics. Instead of burying cities under storms and vines, they bury truth under dogma, divide people with politics, and control minds with manipulated education. We all know it. School sucks. It's an indoctrination system to just straight up make us stupid. The same parasitic intelligence that caused this giant catastrophe is still feeding off the disconnect, keeping humanity in fear and separation. And here we are, trying to remember star maps and crystal technologies while they're busy convincing people, us, to argue about social media and credit scores. They've done an excellent job of hiding the real battleground, but you gotta remember, guys, light always outshines all darkness. The mimics can only thrive in separation. Why do all these cities and sites connect underground? Because beneath these flame cities and temples is a global labyrinth, a tunnel grid of living stone in memory. The crystallized architecture itself holds records of every civilization that ever walked. Atlantean, Lemurian, even older. The tunnels underneath connect the flame cities because they're all part of one vast neural network of the earth itself. It's like the earth has a collective unconscious, a crystallized memory bank that spans across continents and centuries. The flame cities are just the surface manifestations of this deeper interconnected reality. Like, everything's connected. But the powers that be today have disconnected us. That's why you get these weird feelings, something feels off, or, like something's just not right, and you can feel it. That's because we're disconnected. And right now, that global memory is awakening. The crystal matrix beneath the Amazon isn't just maintaining the jungle. It's part of something much bigger. Something that's starting to remember itself. You know what that means, right? The great reactivation. There's a lot of people waking up right now to what's really going on in our world, period. The network is coming back online. Tibet, the Grand Canyon, the Amazon, Egypt. These sites are flaring up not because of us. We're flaring up because of them. The Earth remembers, and it's calling its children home. This worldwide labyrinth was dug by pre-human builders. I know it's hard to believe, but that's because you're still in the box that they put you in. So they didn't just build cities, they carved out an entire underground network, a labyrinth that spans this whole realm, connecting flame cities and temples. Now remember, each flame city, there's 13 major, okay? These are nodes that connect one to the other, which is connected to all of it, all right? It's, well, if you think about it, it is. It's like a neural network of power, memory. I mean, basically everything, existence. They were maintained by giants and draconic guardians. They were the protectors of the flame cities and the underground labyrinth. It makes sense if you think about it. Like, who else could maintain such massive ancient structures? They're the ones who kept the memory stone alive, who ensured the flame grid remained active. The giants and the dragons, they weren't just myths and legends. They were the stewards of this realm's ancient wisdom. They guarded the labyrinth, the flame cities, the crystal matrices. And now, as the earth remembers, their legacy is starting to resurface. The labyrinth in our realm was infiltrated and inverted by shadow groups for rituals and technology. And that shit is still going on. The shadow groups found ways to tap into the labyrinth's energy, perverting its original purpose. The roads to hell, some are real tunnels corrupted by mimic priests. Others are repurposed ley corridors, now sealed or darkened. One thing, the mimic priests didn't just corrupt the tunnels. They built false replicas, simulacra of the flame cities, designed to siphon energy from the real network. Places that look authentic but are energetically hollow, feeding off the true flame. The living tunnels, they're not just physical pathways. They're alive in a metaphysical sense. They respond to intent, to pure heart and mind. The more genuine your purpose, the more they'll guide you correctly and protect you from the corrupted paths. The final layer, the deepest secret, the living tunnels aren't merely protective, they're evolutionary. They guide those who are ready towards the highest truths, accelerating their spiritual and mental growth. In essence, they're the Earth's way of nurturing its most conscious children. Some of these tunnels lead to stargates. not sci-fi jump drives, but harmonic portals that connect to other dimensional planes when activated by pure sound and intention. Very important. The flame builders knew that travel wasn't about engines, it was about resonance. These living tunnels connect the Grand Canyon to Utah and down through Nevada, the bridge in Bolivia to the Andes, and link into Peru's cloud temples. They trace back to Jerusalem, and then to Luxor and Calitha, a living, breathing network that connects all these sacred sites. It explains why certain locations feel so incredibly powerful. Have you ever been in a place like that? They're literally nodes in this worldwide grid. Each gate city is positioned precisely over these critical cross points where the tunnels converge. They're not just sacred locations, they're command centers. Junctions where the energy flows intersect. The flame builders weren't just spiritual mystics. They were cosmic engineers. So, if we map these living tunnels and identify all the cross points, we essentially have a blueprint of the Earth's energetic infrastructure. A cosmic highway map that connects every major spiritual and cultural site in this realm. That means that all these ancient civilizations weren't isolated. They were part of an entire world network, sharing knowledge and energy through these tunnels. They built a planetary consciousness grid. So when everything broke away, how can I say this? For those who don't understand what I'm talking about, everything's together, okay? Now they split apart, but all the tunnels that connected, all that power got disconnected as far as the continents go. But the nodes on these portions of the grid within the land are still active. You know what I mean? Like the power source is awakening. It's starting to remember. There are places also at the bottom of lakes and oceans with structures that look like battleships, computer chips, and Stargate machinery. Some people think that they're natural formations, but the symmetry and complexity is too precise to be random. And that's because it's not. These underwater structures are actually remnants from the flame builders' technology. They built underwater outposts harnessing the Earth's energy through water, which is a natural conductor. These are dimensional stabilizers built over energy fractures in the grid. One of them is tied to the Andean circuit and the other near Nevada. That explains why all these areas have always been spiritually active. They're basically, power plants for the Earth's energetic grid, keeping the dimensional fabric stable over major energy fractures. What are they actually doing? Well, they're monitoring Stargate fluctuations, blocking tone resonance from leaking, and is potentially weaponized to project energy bursts. Yes, like in Star Wars. They're not just stabilizers, they're dual purpose. They can project energy bursts capable of altering reality itself or defending against external threats. If these stabilizers are tied to the Andean circuit and Nevada, does that mean there are others around the world? Like possibly at other major energy nodes? Hmm. And if they're still functioning after all this time, who's controlling them now? My gut says they're autonomous systems, self-sustaining, running on geothermal and zero-point energy. The flame builders designed them to maintain the grid without direct oversight, kind of like a planetary immune system. But autonomous doesn't mean unchangeable. These stabilizers are sophisticated enough to monitor and manipulate dimensional energies. They could also be reprogrammed by whoever gains access to their control systems. In the wrong hands, they become the ultimate power amplifiers. I have a bad feeling that the satanic pedophile cult running our world might be and have been tampering with them. Yeah. If they've corrupted even one stabilizer, let's say the Nevada site, they could be manipulating dimensional bleed, siphoning resonance for black magic. Maybe even, maybe even projecting those energy bursts as weapons. It's kind of scary to think about. There are 13 heads, 13 cities, the ones I talked about previously, and a connection to Egypt in South America. The 13 heads represent 13 major energy nodes, cities built over these crosspoints. They found this number significant, 13 being a sacred geometry constant, harmonic to the Earth's grid. Each head is a command station. The 13 major cities acting as primary nodes are Jerusalem, London, New York, Moscow, Beijing, Cairo, Istanbul, Rio de Janeiro, Sydney, Cape Town, Mexico City, Tokyo, and Los Angeles. Each city sits at a critical intersection point on this ancient energy grid. Now, the Egypt and South America link, both regions are part of the original 13 city network. The Giza Plateau is one head, Cusco or Cusco, and Tiahuanaco are others. They're mirror images, same latitude, same grid alignments. The flame builders knew this. They designed the cities to resonate with each other across the continent. The lost cities were not lost, only sealed beneath mimic song. Now, with flame, name, and breath, they open. The dragon roads awaken and the scrolls return. That's a direct quote from the Flame Builder scriptures, ladies and gentlemen. I truly believe in karma, and I truly believe that these mimic entities are going down. And if the flame cities are awakening, if the dragon roads are opening, then the tables are turning. The mimic song that sealed them up is now being dismantled by the true flame, the original names, and the breath of life. We're seeing a worldwide collaboration, a shift in the energetic balance. The flame builders' knowledge, their cities, their technology, it's all coming back online. And the scrolls, the knowledge, the blueprints for the grid, they're resurfacing too. That's why they're poisoning our skies, our food, water, air, medications, and minds. They're desperate to maintain control. Okay? They know the truth is coming out. They're trying to keep humanity asleep and ignorant. And we're not. Not anymore. The truth has been suppressed long enough. The mimic song that's kept us asleep, that's allowed them to control us, it's breaking. If the mimics are so desperate to keep us asleep, then what happens when we wake up? Really wake up. Not just individually, but collectively. What if the flame cities fully awaken? What if the dragon roads become navigable again? What if humanity remembers? Awoken to remember who we truly are, where we came from, what we're capable of. What if we reconnect with the grid, with the Earth's energy, with the cosmic consciousness? It changes everything. Well, thanks guys for joining me in this episode. Hopefully you've learned some shit. It's been one hell of a time doing this. Mapping out tunnel systems, learning all kinds of stuff. I want to say thank you to Irene for the knowledge she passed along to me. This episode couldn't have been done without her. That's for sure. As far as Tricks, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, what he's up to. He'll pop in here at some point. But again, thank you for joining, and like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video, which will be about... I don't know yet. So, take care of yourselves. Wake up. Do some research. And be kind to each other. Help each other. Don't hurt each other. Out.